Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Patrick from Vicious Computers and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing a quick and dirty review of a new item that some of you might have been looking at. If you found the video, you're probably looking for reviews of it. It's the SmallRig Advanced Compact V-Mount Battery Mounting System, and it has a model number. The one I'm looking at right now online is 4063. So interesting story about this item. Um, I spent a considerable amount of time and money building basically something that's just like it, because when I got the Canon R5C to start doing my YouTube videos, the external battery issue was like pretty much the only flaw that camera has. If you want to do the high end 8K recordings or have a long battery life, the built-in battery just doesn't cut it. So I have spent a lot of time procuring all the parts, and I was ready to put together a step-by-step build video with all the parts so I could save you the time and the trouble that I had to put into it to build a really cool battery mount system. And I kid you not, the day, like after I was finally done and ready to put that video together, is when I saw the announcement for the pre-order of this item from SmallRig, which basically accomplished everything in one purchase and cheaper. So I was like, well, damn, now I have no reason to do that video. So however, now that I have it and I've tried it out, there are a few things about it that aren't perfect. So this video is going to be to go over what's good about it, what's bad about it, see if it's right for you, and perhaps see if it's worth still doing the build video for my DIY solution. Now, here's the thing. I bought the Canon R5C to make good quality videos for YouTube, and because I need to show you the camera in this video, I'm filming it way out of the left field here. I've actually got my Canon M50, which I use as my webcam, pointing at me now, so it's like really off frame and I'm not looking at it right. And then something really new and neat. This is my Galaxy S22 Ultra. I found an application today that lets you use it as a wireless webcam, and it's really cool. Like, that's worth doing a video on itself. So this is my VoIP, video chat camera for work, and it doesn't have autofocus. The M50, to hide the stuff, you have to put it on manual focus. So showing you stuff without focus would be crummy. So we also have the camera from the phone. So that's what we're recording with, and got my regular microphone, and I'm wearing a backup microphone. So anyways, let's get started. Unboxing it is fairly simple. It came in a cardboard box, and it opened up with some like foam, and the only thing you're going to find in there in this corner is the Arca Swiss plate that goes on the bottom. The actual device was over here. And if you bought the version that comes with the shoulder pad and the extension rods, the rods were buried in there, and there's where the shoulder pad went. So no reason to really unbox it. I've already got the Arca Swiss plate on the camera. So it's a fairly tiny Arca plate. It has 2 mounting screws on the left and right and 1 slot in the center. So to mount it horizontally and get it to lock in place with the SmallRig cage that I'm using, I had to use the left and right. Holds it in place really, really well. So getting it on, let's talk about the item here. The Arca Swiss plate that's included will go in here and has a lever to lock that in or the lever right here in the front. This lever on the side is your tension for the sliding it forward and backwards. And then the last tensioning spot you have is right here. You loosen that, and this can fold down to a flat profile, so that way you can move your battery out of the way of the back of the camera to bring your viewing screen out. So let's go ahead and start with some of the issues, right? My DIY solution actually was using a Manfrotto plate. And when I had the Manfrotto plate on the bottom of the camera, it provided me a lot of stability. So when I sat the camera down, it didn't want to fall over or anything. I got a fairly large lens on here right now, but when I had this on here, the camera didn't want to tip or fall, which added a little bit of extra safety and security, in my opinion. The the mounting system that I used for this, it slid in, and you could tighten it down. And I prefer these rotating knobs for the quick releases to like the levers. And if there's the turning kind that has a tab on it, these are the worst because I've actually had to return some parts, because when you tighten these down, if it's up against the top of the camera body or touching something else, sometimes you can't tighten these. So these are my favorite ones because you can get them as loose or as tight as you need, and they're quick and easy to use. The one that's included on the item we're looking at today is just a simple lever type, so you don't really get that adjustment. So with losing the ability to use the bigger Manfrotto plate, which was nice because you can actually slide it forward and backwards and balance it out a little bit. And now switching to the Arca plate, I bought something else, and if I can find it in my, yeah, here it is. I bought this in anticipation to switch over. And this is a really neat thing from SmallRig. It is an Arca Swiss plate, but it actually has fold-out legs to turn it into its own stable foundation, and it can stand on its own. It's also cool if you want to get some really low-to-the-ground shots. So I bought this with anticipating switching over to this plate on the camera, and it could fold down and it would give me stability. However, it will not work. And so the first major issue, the first complaint that I have with this is, for whatever reason, they decided that the mounting for the Arca Swiss plate is going to be horizontal instead of like this. And almost every tripod I have, almost every accessory I have, everything I pretty much use is expecting the orientation to be like this, and now it's sideways. The other thing is, this particular plate has cutouts here on the side, and with those cutouts, it will not secure in here, so I can't even use this. So I ended up just using the included Arca Swiss plate and bolting it on and leaving it on there. The good thing is it's small, it's low profile. I can leave it on all the time, so it doesn't get in the way. So I am a true hybrid shooter. I do video, so I leave this side handle on all the time. But I do photos, and I don't feel like this gets in the way. I can leave the cage on, I can leave that plate on all the time and never have to worry about changing it up. And that's what I was going for when I was doing my DIY solution. I was going for a true hybrid setup where I can go from taking photos to taking video and transforming it between those two configurations in about 60 seconds. So that was one of the issues. The next thing that we'll talk about is, this was a friction-based system here. So if I release that lever, this goes, and anywhere I want to stop it, I just apply friction and it will stop at that angle. When I shot my review video of the light that's over there, I was holding the camera with one hand and touching the light with the other hand. So I actually was holding the camera with the side handle, and I used the battery as basically a support. And having the battery at just the right angle to hold up against me was actually really nice. It gave me great stability. With this one, it uses friction, but it has like stop points. So if I tighten it down at some random place, it can move a little bit until it finds one of those stop points that it wants to lock into. So like right there, I tightened it up, and you can hear it clicking. It wants to click into one of those stop points. So you lose some of that flexibility that I had with the DIY solution. The other thing is, let's go ahead and get it on the camera. So, not easy to get on, but not terrible. It's a really tight fit though. That's one thing I don't like about it. So I have to adjust that lever a little bit. Okay, I'll have to edit that, but that was my first issue. It was not easy to get on. The DIY one took me 2 seconds to get on, and you can loosen it up as much as you need. This one, there's really very little play. So I had to fight with the spring pegs on here and fight with everything to get it in place. Now I can lock it in. And when we go to the back over here, where our battery goes, let's take this out and throw a battery on here. Yeah, you can rotate this down and get your battery out of the way for the screen. And so you can put this into a useful spot and bring it back up. But it completely blocks the viewfinder. And with my DIY solution, the battery sat below the viewfinder, and therefore I could still keep the battery up and actually use it. And that's some usability that I lose now. Also, because the battery was closer as it was fitting underneath of the viewfinder, it gave me more balance. So between stopping in any position I want and getting closer to the camera, the DIY solution actually worked better than this prefabricated solution. The other thing I don't understand is why they made this mount so big. It's bigger than the one I used for DIY. I have one just this big, and I have one even smaller than this. It really doesn't need to be that big just to put the battery on there, but that's what they went with. So between blocking the viewfinder, being kind of difficult to get on, the orientation of the Arca Swiss plate, those are some of the major issues with it. Other than that, though, it works as advertised. Throw your V-mount battery on there. You can loosen up this lever here and slide it forward so you get it nice and flush. Lock it back in place. You got pretty good balance depending on what lens you have in there. I mean, single-handing this right now. And you still have another Arca on the bottom of this, so you can put it on the tripod that has a quick connector for the Arca Swiss plate. This piece, the add-on, if you pay a little bit extra, has the extension tubes, which are threaded, so you can't use the I'm assuming you can't buy the regular tubes unless you find a way to thread them to make it shorter or longer. And then the shoulder pad, which articulates, so you have to, there's no way to quickly tighten or loosen this so that it's movable. You have to do it through the Allen key. So I think that was a huge oversight, because when I first got it out of the box, it was so tight that I couldn't move it. And now that I've loosened it up, what if it's too loose and I need to tighten it? So the quick release on here is only for the tension of the actual rods. I found that just having the battery on the back of the camera was putting the camera right where I wanted it, and I didn't need this, but I figured since I was pre-ordering it and I wanted to get the full experience, I would get this and see how it goes. In usage for me, this doesn't put the camera where I want it. It puts it too far away from me. If I'm trying to hold it with one hand and look at everything, which is what I'm doing if I'm filming POV, it's too far away. I just like using the battery itself. You've already got the battery on the back of the camera, which makes a pretty good little mounting place. So, what I gotta say about it is, yeah, it works. If you're going for a one-stop shop, it's lightweight. It definitely weighs less than this. It is fairly secure, although the Arca Swiss plate is much smaller and daintier than like something like this Arca Swiss plate or something bigger like the Manfrotto plate. If you're using your stuff on a gimbal and everything, it's probably going to be an issue, because I don't think they use those type of plates very often. And what I did was I took the same pieces that I built the DIY out of, and what I would do is I would put this on the camera. When I was wanting to use an Arca tripod, I would just clamp this onto the Manfrotto plate that stayed on the bottom of the camera, and then I had Arca Swiss ready to go, and this was very secure. So it was kind of cool having both Manfrotto and Arca Swiss on tap at any time with my setup, versus now I'm kind of locked into the Arca Swiss plates. So yeah, I mean, maybe another video if anyone really wants to see it. We can do a video on the DIY and the parts list. As far as this, at $139, well, at less than that if you don't get the extension. It's expensive, but it's cheaper than building it from parts for me, because I bought more parts than I needed. But it would actually cost more than buying this and building this if the parts were on sale like they were when I bought them, because I was using all SmallRig, but the actual mounting piece here, that was the kind of the star of the show, actually comes from a third-party brand, and it was only like $30. So yeah, I don't know. Ask any questions if you have questions down below in the comment section. This was a weird review for me to do because I'm rushing it in before my fiance gets home from work after I got off work, and just don't have the camera set up, and kind of stir-brained. And it's weird to have my cell phone filming me, but it worked out pretty cool. So, all right. Well, I got some content up. I miss getting some content out there for you guys, and I have many more reviews coming. I've got, oh geez. I got the V&D Mist Swift Kit from Nisi. I've got the actual mist filters for Nisi. I bought those. I've got some new lenses. I've got some new flash stuff. I got a bunch of more lights to review. So I'm just waiting to find some time to get that up. But this product being new, knowing that people are going to be looking for it, I just wanted to get some content up for it. So again, this was Patrick from Vicious Computers, and I'll see you next time.